Okay, so for the last question is the binomial distribution. So a college need to admit like 950 students, and of course not everyone that got accepted will accept the admission, right? So some will come. So on average, it tells you the past experience says like 75% of the students admitted would appear. Okay, so about 75%. And you're also told the number who accept the admission has the binomial distribution of 1200 with the successful rate of 75%. So this is n, means the number of trial. This is the success rate. And for question A, what is the mean mu and the standard deviation of the number of x of the students who accepted? So here, according to the formula, mu is the number of trial. Oh, they use x here. So x trial times the probability of times the success rate. So I have the college decide to admit 1,200 students. So x is 1,200. So it means like they give 1,200 trials, and the success rate is when the student actually accept the admission and appear. So 1,200 times 0.75 gives you 900. So I find the mean and find the standard deviation, which is given as number of trial times the success rate times the fail rate, right? So which is 1,200 times 900, 1,200 times 0.75 times 1 minus 0.75, which is the fail rate. Use your calculator. Find the answer is 15. So now we have find the mean and the standard deviation of part A. And now part B. We know that we need to use normal approximation to find the probability that at least, okay, so at least 790 students will accept. And of course, you're again asked to use the normal approximation. So you will have to use the z-table to find that. Whenever you hear z-table, you know that you will have to calculate the z-score. So this one at least 790. So the z-score for that, z equals to 790. Subtract the mean value, which is 900, divided by the standard deviation, 15. And the answer is negative 7.33 something. 333 go all the way. And if you actually look at the z-table, the lowest number you can get is negative 3.4. So what does that mean? So if you look at the normal distribution, the highest number in the table is 3.4 something. the lowest you can find is negative 3.4 something. So this actually it's negative 7.33. It's here. And if you look at the table, this part is almost 0. So that negative 7.33, you'll know for sure that the probability of z smaller than that. So the probability of the number of students less than or equal to 790 is the probability of finding a z-score which is less or equal to negative 7.33, which is 0.000. Almost never happen. And the question asks for at least, so it will be 1 minus the probability of x at least, which is greater or equal to 790, which is 1 minus 0.000 actually equals to 1. And so round your answer to 4 decimal places. I need to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 after that. Okay. So this is for part B. You find any z-score that is smaller than negative 3.4, you can just safely say, okay, it's not likely to happen at all. It's almost 0. So when the number is smaller than the probability of that is smaller than the z-score is 0, then of course the probability of any number that greater than that is almost 100%. So I will have 1 here. Question number C. So if the college does not want more than 50 students, what is the probability that more than 950 would accept? Okay, this question is very tricky because the question asks what is the probability that more than 950? And since we are talking about students, you cannot have like half of the student. So this question more than 950, we are actually looking for a number that is greater or equal to 951, right? Because if you're looking for a number that is greater or equal to 950, then 950 is included. But 950 is not more than 950, right? So for this question, you have to use the number 951 instead of 950. So the z-score for 951 will be 951 subtract the mean, then divided by the standard deviation. So the answer is 3.4. And if we want more than that to happen, which means we need to use 1 subtract, because the z-table will always give you the number that is smaller than that. So we have to use 1 subtract that, which is 1 subtract the probability of the z-score that is less than 3.4. You look at the z-table, which is 0.9997. So the answer is 0.0003. Okay, so if for this question you happen to use the number 950 and the website was still rated as correct because it's within the tolerance of the error. But if you still do that with part D and you happen to be out of the range of tolerance, so you will get a cross for this one. So the part D, it says, what if the college decides to increase the admission number offer to 1,330? So now the binomial distribution becomes this: 1,330 with the same success rate at 75%. And then in order to find this, we basically just redo ABC, but with x equals to 1,330. Okay, so let's do that again. The mu would equals to the number of trial. They decide to admit 1,330 times the success rate, which is positive 0.75. You do that, you'll find it's 997.5. Likewise, standard deviation, this number times 0.75 times 0.25, and the answer is 15.7916. In this case, preserve as many digits as possible. So the z-score for that, again, at least, it says more than 50, so I have to use 951 in this case. Okay, subtract the new mean divided by the new standard deviation. So this score is negative 2.94. So the answer would be 1 minus the probability of the z-score less than negative 2.94. Look at the z-table, which is 0.0016. So your final answer is 0.9984. Okay, so if they admit 1,330 students, like more than 99% of chances that more than 950 students will show up. Okay, so this is the end of the review of the midterm. And just a kind of reminder, we will have a second midterm somewhere in April, and I will let you know. I think I emailed you about the date, but I will remind you again later when we will have that. Okay, so this is for the review, and then we are going to move on to the new chapter 6, in a minute.